This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks with a 30-point victory over the Orlando Magic. And how ironic, how ironic, ladies and gentlemen, that the Knicks get this win today at the end of the season while they're playing good basketball over the Orlando Magic. I expected them to get the win, just like I expected them to get the win earlier in the season. They didn't do it earlier in the season. Well, they did it once, but they didn't do it 2 other times. Put out a lot of question marks for the remainder of the season, and now we see what happened for the remainder of the season. Neither here nor there now. The Knicks won. Immanuel Quickley, ladies and gentlemen, with his first career triple-double, right? Shout out to IQ for that. Some people may not like the fashion that it came, but it came. First career triple-double for Immanuel Quickley. Obi Toppin, 20 points, second time, tying his career high of 20 points. Okay, good games around the board for the New York Knicks by our young guys. So let's talk about it, man. Let's get into it. I got my man Cornerstone Kev in the building. Cornerstone, what's going on, brother? How you feeling, man?
Hey, man, I'm feeling great, man. Salute to the chat. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. Full of basketball from the pros to the college. Yeah, this game right here, this was a butt whooping. And that's this is the PG version.
Yeah, it was a butt whooping
and everything. It's just, I know you heard me say before that I thought that we would have a problem season once we had the second loss to these guys at the Garden. It's just amazing how it was a tale of two cities. I mean, we're at the end of the season right now, and they just beat the socks off these guys. But when it counted, we couldn't, get it together, for those 2 games at the Garden. And I don't understand.
Yeah, well, I mean, the NBA, basketball, sports by itself is just weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you could catch a team in the middle of a hot streak, in the middle of a point where they're really, really playing well. You might be a better team than them, but you might catch them at a point where they're really playing well and they beat you. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not making any excuses for the Knicks earlier in the season losing to these guys. I'm just saying sports is a crazy, crazy phenomenon. You never know what's going to happen. At that time, the Knicks had major question marks about themselves, even though they had won a few games early. Within themselves, they probably had some question marks. You know what I'm saying? And that's all it takes. Right. That's all that it takes. They're a team that's much more confident about themselves now. And, I think they at least know a little bit more about themselves. Now, at the beginning of next season, it's probably going to be a new team. And I'm not saying a lot of players new, but there's going to be some additions and some subtractions, which means it's going to be a new basketball team. And they're going to have to find themselves again.
Yeah.
So
again, because I know we've talked about this before. In your opinion, how many games do you think it takes for a team to really find itself?
I don't know. I don't know. You have some teams that can get out there and, they're new and they click just like that. And then you have some teams that never click.
Yeah.
Right? You have some teams that just never click.
Right. Like I thought Boston, was in trouble, and look at them now. They're like what are they the number 2 seed or
I'm not exactly sure right now, but they're up there.
They up there. and everything. So
You know, you just never know. You know what I mean?
just never know.
If it's going to happen, and you can do, obviously, if you have superior talent, you know, you can overcome not clicking, should I say? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you don't have superior talent, then it could be a little bit more of a struggle. The Boston Celtics right now 49-30, and they are the second seed right now in the Eastern
Second seed.
Conference.
Okay, I was
They're in
close.
second
I was
place
close. Yeah,
in
I
the
was
Eastern
close.
Conference at this point. But
I was close.
you
But
know,
you didn't think they did because they had a new coach. They had a new coach, and your stars and Tatum and Brown. You thought that's all they really had. I mean, other than Smart as well, but these guys really clicked together, and
they
now that,
ended up clicking
yeah,
together. You know what I mean? And the New
yeah,
York Knicks did not.
yeah.
You know, throughout the season, they didn't. So, you know, when you look at, but listen, these last 2 weeks down the stretch of the season, I think the Knicks have gained a lot. I think Tom Thibodeau has been able to gain more intel on his young guys. I think those young guys have been able to gain some confidence in how they're playing. I mean, Obi Toppin, the last, 4 games have been playing dynamite basketball. He's getting, more time on the floor. You know, he still has some defensive lapses and things like that, but he's getting, he's playing with some confidence right now.
Do you think it's his awareness, because he has the will? I would say. Do you think it's his awareness of where he should be on the floor? During the.
It's not about. I mean, it's about. Yeah, I mean, it's about rotations, making the correct rotations. I think that's the biggest thing for Obi. You know what I mean? If he plays somebody who has good foot speed and really good footwork, I think Obi's going to struggle in that manner anytime he plays somebody with those type of skill sets. And then, you see with the New York Knicks over the past few games, a lot of stuff happening at the basket, right? Because of mix-ups and miscommunications and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, it's just something that every player in the league has something to work on, and this is something that Obi has to work on along with his footwork and developing his offensive skill. But he's playing confident right now. 20 points tonight, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. That's good, confident basketball, and he's been doing it. I mean, I think he's been in double digits probably his last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah. You know whose confidence has really soared?
Who?
Quickley.
Yes, Immanuel Quickley.
Oh my God.
Quickley. He had a triple-double today, ladies and gentlemen. Immanuel Quickley, he's like a sponge, right? He's just soaking in a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of basketball intelligence right now.
And accepting his role too.
Yeah.
As coming off the bench.
Right.
He says it doesn't matter. Whether I start or if I'm coming off the bench, he's going to do whatever it takes. And he's doing, I like his decision making that he's doing as well.
He's getting better at it.
I'm liking all that. Yes.
He's getting better at it. 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists for Immanuel Quickley tonight. One thing that I really like that I see him doing is not giving up that dribble, to pull up a floater or try to get fouled. He's staying grounded on a more consistent basis. He's grounded. You know what I mean? And that doesn't mean he doesn't ever lift off. Obviously, he does. But he's recognizing, when do I lift off the ground to try to score, or when do I stay on my feet so that I can either continue my dribble to get out of traffic or find someone to dish the ball to.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's helping his game a whole lot. Does he still have to make better decisions? Of course. You know what I mean? But he's 21 years old, 22 years old. Hopefully that part of his game will come. But, you see bits and pieces of what he's able to do out there, and that he's soaking in information, and he's learning it, and he's applying it.
Could you trust him as a starter?
We may not have a choice next season. We may not have a choice. I don't know. I can't say because he hasn't been a starter. He played 33 minutes tonight, though. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, what do you mean by starter? When you say starter,
could you see him being a starter, being starting point guard? Could you
Right.
could you
I
see him
mean,
doing that?
so when you say starter, are you saying starter minutes or just starting the game?
Start. You can do both, right?
I mean, you can do both, but
Okay,
what
so both.
I
So
mean,
both.
but what I'm saying is,
Starting the game. Starting the game.
okay, so starting the game against another team, starting five.
Yes.
That's what you mean. I mean,
Yes.
listen, based on what he's doing now, he's playing 33 minutes, so he's playing against other team starters anyway. He's playing down the stretch, so he's playing against other team starters. No matter if he's coming off the bench to start the first 5 minutes of the game or he's starting the first 5 minutes of the game, he's getting minutes against other team starters, and he's playing well against those starters too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's the big key for me, because you can have a player start the game and sit down within a minute,
Right.
right? So,
Right.
you know, it's about the minutes that you play and the point in time of the game that you're playing. Right? Okay, so when you start the game, maybe you don't start off against the other team starters. But throughout
Right.
the game, if you're able to perform against their starters, then that means something to me. Right? See,
Okay.
historically historically for Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau would have a rotation where your bench players are playing against other bench players for the most part.
Yeah.
So it's very hard when you had a guy come in and he's playing well, you say, oh, see, he should be starting. But you don't know because he's playing most of his minutes against bench players. In the situation that you have right now, that rotation is different now. And Immanuel Quickley is actually playing against the opposing team starters, and he's performing well.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
that's an indicator that he can perform well against another team's starters or another team's best players. How about that? You know, because a starter, like I said, someone can come in and do jump ball, be on the court for a minute, and then come off.
Right.
You know, just because you like, you know, that this person is 7'9" or something, right? So you want them to try to win a jump ball. You know, so to me, it just depends on throughout the game. Are you playing against?
But here's the
Are you
thing
playing
also.
against the key players?
Right. Right. Here's another observation too. We could say about Quickly. I mean, at least for me personally, I could say that the reason why he's playing so well is because he's getting the minutes and he's getting the experience. That's all I was saying all season about the rookies, just getting the experience. That's what that's the only way you're going to get better is if you get experience,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I think once you and you look at Quickly, he's a second year player. He got minutes last year. You had no choice. You had to give him, minutes last year. And now, it's carried over into this year.
But wait a minute
And
though. Because I
okay,
mean, I see what you're saying and where you're going with it,
okay,
right?
okay,
I understand exactly what you're saying.
okay,
But if Deuce would have played when Immanuel Quickley wasn't playing well, people were calling for Deuce to get in. Immanuel Quickley may not be doing this right now.
true.
Right? The reason why he's able to do this right now is because Tom Thibodeau rocked with him. So, it's
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
you know,
That's what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, listen, people are gonna play when they get a chance to play. Right now, they're playing earlier in the season. They weren't playing, and you're gonna get experience. You're gonna get a chance and get experience to get out there on the floor and play. You just got to capitalize on it when you do. And when you're a young guy, I know people don't like it, whatever. But when you're a young guy, sometimes you just got to take your chances when they come and capitalize on those chances when they come. That's the way it works in the NBA. That's the way it works in basketball all across the world.
All across the world. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All across. Even Michael Jordan had to stay with the JV squad when he was a freshman.
Yeah.
All right? Even Jordan stayed with the JV squad.
Yeah. I wish
Just
we
is
can
what
get
it
in that. I wish we can get in that Back to the Future car, the flying DeLorean, and go back in time and see what would happen if Jordan would have gotten on that varsity team, where his level would have been. Would he have been as hungry as he was? You know what I'm saying?
Michael Jordan was internally motivated. So, yes, he would
Yeah.
have still been as hungry. I think
Okay.
so.
All right.
I think so.
Okay.
He was just internally motivated. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm pretty positive of it. Looking at the box score, ladies and gentlemen, you see it up on your screen. R.J. Barrett had 27 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds tonight. Shot 45% from the field and 33% from the three-point line. Again, Obi Toppin, 20 points and 8 rebounds, 40% from the three-point line. Man, if he can make that be a consistent part of his arsenal, that's big time for Obi. You know what I mean? He also shot 44% from the field. Mitchell Robinson, 12 points and 10 rebounds tonight. Also 5 blocks. Evan Fournier only had 2 points. He only played 15 minutes tonight. Alec Burks, another good game from Alec Burks. 19 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists for Alec Burks. All right, Quentin Grimes struggled a little bit tonight. Obviously we know that Quentin Grimes is dealing with injury issues or an injury issue with his knee. All right, so, it is what it is. I'm pretty sure. I feel positive that Quentin Grimes is going to come back strong. He had 2 points, 4 rebounds tonight, 2 assists to go along with that. Again, Immanuel Quickley with a triple-double, 20 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds. Miles McBride had 8 points. Shot 75% from the field and 66.7% from the three-point line. He didn't get a rebound or an assist or a steal, but that's okay. All right, Taj Gibson tonight. He had 4 points, 4 rebounds. Across the board, the New York Knicks played well. As for the Orlando Magic, they were led in scoring by Moritz Wagner. They were led in scoring by Wagner. And ladies and gentlemen, he's a young guy that can play basketball. Now, I seen somebody in the chat one day say that, RJ's not better than Wagner. I disagreed with that person then, and I disagree with that person now. I don't remember who it was, but I seen them. They said it, and they were wrong. But Moritz Wagner, he had 18 points and 9 rebounds for the Orlando Magic. Iggy Brasdeikis played 37 minutes for the Orlando Magic. You remember that guy. He had 13 points and 4 rebounds.
And started.
Mo Bamba had 13 points, 12 rebounds for the Orlando Magic. Let me see who else had. Markelle Fultz, 11 points. Terrence Ross had 11 points. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the lineup or the box scores for this particular basketball game. Again, the Knicks win 118-88. Kev, what do you want to see the Knicks do down the remainder of this season? There's 3 games left to the season.
Oh, my God.
Can you believe it? 3 games left. What do you want to see from them?
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it seems like yesterday we were all at the pub, celebrating this team, then on our way to the game. And who would have thought that we would be in this position right now, out of the playoffs? I want to. Is it written down that that Randall's not going to play for the rest of the season?
It seems that way.
Okay. I want to see our young guys, get the minutes. I also want to see RJ. I understand now what you guys were saying, that he doesn't finish well around the rim. I see that, now. I would like for him to be more of a distributor as well, so that he can work on, finishing around the rim and pay this man. Pay this man. But yeah, I just want to see the young guys playing. That's all. I just want to see the young guys.
Well, I mean, you're almost not going to have any choice but to see the young guys play down the stretch of the season.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to see IQ continue to develop, this, these point guard skills that he seems to be working on and that seem to be growing. Some people are going to be believers in IQ. Some people are not going to be believers. The only thing he can do is believe in himself and continue to try to grow in that regard. With Obi, I want to see Obi increase his defensive awareness, really work on that. I want to see him, and I've seen it some tonight, but the more he's out there on the floor, I want to see him begin to take it upon himself to try to score the basketball. Not always get set up from somebody else. I just want to see him catch it, boom, face up, try to go to the basket. Just use some skills that you've seen him work on during the off season.
Yeah.
Because I think that's just a big part of his. It's going to be a big part of his game. You know what I mean? If he can develop the ability to create for himself and sometimes create for others. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying he has to be a point forward. I just mean, he catches the ball in the mid post, goes to the basket, the defense collapses, and he's able to kick it. Some of those things. So I want to see him work on that.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What are you liking about Mitch right now?
I mean, listen, with Mitch, it's still up and down on all over the place.
It's still up and down?
It's still up and down for me. There are nights when, Mitch is dominant. Then there are nights where he fades away and he's not there. Part of that is because, like Obi, but Obi, is a little bit more of a target than Mitch. And Obi can do more than Mitch because Obi can shoot the ball right from the mid-range. He can shoot the ball from three.
Yeah.
Part of the reason that it's like that with Mitch is because the Knicks are never going to Mitch to try to score, right? I mean, they go to him in an alley-oop scenario, right? But they're not going to Mitch, like, hey, we're going to throw you in the mid-post, we're going to throw you here, throw you there to try to get you to score the basketball. Or they're not, sending him off a screen so he can catch it and pull up. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's obviously not his basketball game. But because of that, you're going to get up and down scoring from Mitch. Always. You're going to get up and down scoring. It's going to be nights where he's going to get 20 points because he's getting a lot of rebounds, or the Knicks are able to capitalize on some alley-oops, or there's going to be nights where he only gets 8.
Okay. The reason why I asked you that question is because you were talking about what you would like to see out of Obi and Quick.
Hello?
Too late.
Oh, 1 second, caller. 1 second. I got you.
Yeah. Do you think it's too late for Mitch to develop his offensive game? When I mean develop, I saw him once do a hook, try and do a little bit of a hook shot. I also saw him, driving to the basket sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the times you've maybe seen him drive to the basket twice, right? And then probably out of necessity.
But I'm not saying I'm just using that, as an example. I don't want him to do that all the time,
right?
Not at all. But as far as around the basket, do you think it's too late for him to develop the skill?
He's 23 years old. He's 23 years old. He's got a lot of time to develop.
But sometimes when you get later on, so let's ask this question: What age do you think where it's like, okay, he is what he is. He's not going to change. What he's doing. Do you think that when they're like 27 or 28, or?
To be honest with you, it's hard to say nowadays. You know what I mean? Basketball's changed a lot. Players are staying in the league longer. I mean, you got players that are, Vince Carter was 40 or something and still in the league. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But he kept reinventing himself too.
Right. Reinventing himself into, a different type of player. When he was younger, he was, I'm going to go to the basket and dunk on you.
Yeah.
He learned how to get a mid-range. Then, obviously, when he got older, he developed his three-point shot better. You know what I mean? So players keep growing. It's your body that your body gives out on you. You know what I'm saying? You learn footwork. You learn, as you get older, you learn, you still can learn post moves. You can still learn footwork. You can still learn a lot of things, but the speed isn't there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The strength isn't there. The crisp and sharpness isn't there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right. So
And I guess the reason why I asked that is because we're talking about Mitch. You look at somebody like Rudy Gobert, it doesn't seem like he's ever going to, develop a jump shot or, anything that's, around the basket. You know,
They're not.
that's what I'm saying. It seems like he's set in his ways. So that's why I asked that question about Mitch, and you said that it's not too late for him.
It's not too late,
So
but you got to work
yeah.
on it. It's not just going to happen.
Right.
You got to work on
Right.
it.
You got to work on it. Yeah.
And let me get to this caller really quick. All right, and see what this guy's talking about here. All right, caller, you live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Seth, Concord, North Carolina, aka Mets2128 on YouTube.
What's going on, Mets? How you feeling?
I'm doing okay. I was kind of worried near the back end of this game with like 7 to 6 minutes left, where we nearly caused up a 35-point lead.
You thought you were.
I'm glad this team finally managed to pull this one out. I mean, this was a team that on paper we should have beaten. We should have swept instead of split.
Right. You're right. But you were afraid the Knicks were going to give up this 35-point lead?
They've given up a 28-point
Yeah,
lead.
but I wasn't afraid. I mean, you know what? I could see this one. They wasn't giving this one up. I wasn't afraid about this one when they got that lead. I wasn't afraid. Because Orlando is, but I do, I mean, I can understand the fear. And anything else you want to talk about? You kind of breathing heavy into the mic, man.
I mean, given how we're finally seeing the potential Obi can have when he's given more time on the court with Randall not hogging the spotlight, and given how quickly Cheyenne should be the two guard to start instead of playing off the bench, you got to wonder if this is going to be the setup in 22-23 when we get rid of Randall. The only problem is if we get rid of Randall, since now with the way he's behaving, it's taking the heat off 10-man Tibbs.
Yeah.
Where do you ship him out to? You can't ship him out to L.A. because Westbrook, Melo, Davis, they're all broken down pieces. They're not going to work. Can't ship him out to New Orleans because Zion's a health risk. Can't ship him out to Portland because Damon's got too big of a contract to practice satiate.
Well,
Something, it's better that you ship him back off to Dallas.
Well, I mean,
if you ship him to Dallas, who do you get him for? Who do you get rid of him for?
Well, first of all, the front office has to make that decision that yes, this is what they plan to do, and then they've got to go out and start looking for suitors. So let's just say, for example, that they do make that decision, and if you can't pull back a big name player, right, then you might say not a big name player, but if you can't pull back one significant piece, then you might break it down to some smaller pieces that work for your team. I don't know.
I know, but I'm just saying I do not want to cough up that draft pick.
This year's draft pick?
I mean,
I don't think they're gonna.
Right.
I don't think
we screwed this up. I'm just saying we've screwed it up before. I mean, think back to the 2002 draft. We traded down with Denver to get a broken down Antonio McDyess in the 25th pick.
Yeah.
What did that pick when we had the 7th pick? What did those picks turn into?
Yeah,
That 7th pick,
I
it turned to Nene when it could have been used for Amari Stoudemire, and the pick we got turned into Frank Williams.
I get
Or
it.
2006, 2007, the picks we traded to Chicago. The number 2 pick, LaMarcus Aldridge. The 7th pick, where we did actually have a first-round pick we could use, we traded down and it turned into Wilson Chandler, while the pick we coughed up, which was number 9, turned into a prime Joakim Noah.
Listen, I get it. I understand. I don't think they're going to give up the pick unless they're getting something really significant back in return. That's my opinion. But Mets, I appreciate your time, man. Thank you for being patient. All right. And I'll get back with you, my friend. Kev, they asked, they were asking in the chat, how are you in the video and on the phone at the same time? I mean, you guys do sound like you sound a little bit alike.
Nah, brother. Nah, not at all.
You sound a little bit alike. You sound a little bit.
Just like I was Steve Mills when I first started calling you, right?
I mean, sometimes it is what it is, man.
Too funny, man.
Sometimes it is what it is. The New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen, they defeat the Orlando Magic tonight. 118-88. Their biggest lead was 35. The Magic led by 1. At some point in the second quarter, they led by 1. I think the Knicks had built a 10-point lead, and then the Magic came back to lead by 1, and then the Knicks, built another 10-point lead. The Knicks win the rebounding battle, 56-40. I think it's wrong on your screen, but I'll get that correct. The Knicks also have 29 assists tonight. All right, you love to see when the Knicks are able to get those type of numbers. 29 assists for the New York Knicks, 18 for the Orlando Magic. All right, the Knicks also had 9 steals, 5 for the Magic, 7 blocks for the Knicks, 2 for the Magic. 5 of those blocks were Mitchell Robinson's. Only 9 turnovers for the New York Knicks, 11 for the Orlando Magic. The Knicks shot 48% from the field, 34% from 3, and 81% from the free throw line. The Magic, they shot 35% from the field, 27% from 3, and 59% from the free throw line. The Knicks win the Battle of the Paint. They had 50. Orlando had 28. The Knicks had 20 second chance points, while the Magic had 11. And the Knicks with 16 fast break points to the Magic's 6 fast break points. And I love when the New York Knicks are able to get out and run just a little bit and showcase Obi, showcase what guys can do on the fast break.
Just a little.
Just a little bit, just a little bit,
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. They got, some young legs out there. You want to see them run as much as possible, try to get easy buckets. You know what I mean? But I want to continue the conversation about what I want to see guys do coming down these last 3 games of the season. And I do plan on being at the Washington Wizards game. So, Kev, if you can make it, it's not that far from you.
All right,
4 hours. It's not that far. You can take a train.
Hey, man, I'll bring who's Mark, because he a big KP fan.
Who's Mark ain't coming to D.C.?
I know he ain't coming.
But, it's only 4 hours from you. You can make it. Tickets are cheap. Tickets are cheap. You got 2 teams not in the playoffs. Tickets are cheap. I was talking with Andy the other night. I'm not even gonna let you lie to me. So I'm just gonna cut it off from there. Let it be a joke, because you was about to say I'll see, but I already know what that's gonna be about.
I will see, man.
Okay,
I will see.
You'll see.
When is it? When is it?
Friday.
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I know what that means. I already know what that means.
Even the president heard. So
I already know what that means. That's the reason why I said. That's the reason why I just glossed over it and cut you off and let it go, because I didn't want you to. We'll see.
Let's go. Let's go. Forget it. Let's go with your comment.
Yeah, but one guy, Jericho Sims, man, I want to see him try to get into the groove offensively a little bit more. You know what I mean? I want to see more screen and rolls. I want to see. I think he has decent footwork. I want to see them get the ball to him in the post, and I want to see him be able to do something.
What do you like about him?
I mean, obviously, he's got a big body, so he can rebound the ball well. He can bang a little bit. I feel like he's been a little bit tentative banging as much as he can. I think as much as he can. I think he has more bang ability. You know what I mean? I do. And I think he will as he gets more comfortable being on the court. You know what I'm saying? But I want to see him when he gets the ball around the rim, instead of looking to kick it back out. I want to see him go up with it. We've seen him do it in the previous game. I just want to see him, try to get more into the flow. See some things that he can do out there on the floor.
Do you think with Randall in the game, a lot of the young guys defer to Randall? So you're talking about Sims, how he kicks it out. Do you think because of that Randall influence that he that he could no?
Nah, so he was doing it when Randall's not even in the game.
Right.
He just get the rebound and look to kick it out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Instead of going up and score the basketball. Listen, Julius Randle averaged 17 shots a game. Right? The Knicks probably averaged like 85, 86 shots. There's enough shots to go around where he can go up with the ball. You know what I mean?
But you look at him and you look at like a Deuce McBride. You saw Deuce, early, just giving it up instead of,
because they're young. It's because
that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm asking.
I mean, but it's because they're young and they're trying to figure out, trying to figure out how to play in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? When you're young or you're new to a team, that's kind of what you do first. You're like, I'm gonna defer. I'm gonna get the ball to these guys, until I get comfortable out here. It's kind of what you do. Because when Mitch gets the rebound, he don't look to kick it out, no matter who's on the floor, right? He goes up with it.
Right.
So
my retort to that is where you see, Deuce, Sims, and sometimes a Grimes doing it. You didn't see that out of Quickley last year. He came in,
well, that's his mind. That's his mindset.
Right. So again, that's what I'm. That's what I'm
some
saying.
players don't have that kind of mindset
because they're trying to fit in.
Quickley, but see, that's what makes Quickley. See, that's what makes. See, here you go, right? Mm-hmm. This is where when a player really has that it factor that you say, this guy, because some guys have that mindset where I'm going to do what I'm going to do anyway, but they're just not good. Right. Some guys have the mindset, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and they're good. Right? Quickley had that kind of mindset, and he was able to produce, what I'm saying, which separates you from other people.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
And so, people argue about, well, this guy ain't getting a chance, that guy ain't getting a chance, or this or that. But sometimes you got to have that kind of mindset, too, where you're like, I'm going to make you keep me out here on the floor. I am going to produce when I get out here, and I'm going to use my skills to do it. I'm going to live and die by my production. If I'm not playing well, then the coach is just going to have to get mad at me because I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Right.
Quickley has that kind of mindset, which is the reason why he was able to get out there on the floor and produce when he was a rookie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But some guys they have a different path, they have a different path. And maybe this is their path. And it takes time for them to get that confidence and, be able to do things out there on the floor. All of that, I just want to see Jericho Sims, when he gets the rebound, go up with it.
Yeah.
Instead of always looking to kick it out. I want to see him use his footwork. I want to see him use any kind of post moves that he has, because I believe he does have some in an arsenal. I'm not saying it's well-defined and well-developed, but I want to see him use it. I would like to see the Knicks go to Mitch every once in a while, see if he can do something.
Right.
Down there in the post, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
May not be successful. Exactly. He may fall all over the place, but I want to see it.
It can't hurt. What
I mean? I want to see it. You heard Clyde tonight say, well, Mitchell Robinson take his first 3-pointer of his career. No, he didn't. But, something I would like to see. Let me get to this call real quick. Caller, you're live. Caller, tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Hey, Sims, what's going on, man?
What's going on with you?
Calling from New York.
What's going on with you, bro? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I haven't watched the games, because I'm pretty disappointed that we didn't have a good year. But very used to know how next year is gonna be, man. Like, to me, I feel like when they first acquired Kimba, I thought, okay, it's gonna be better, but it turns out to not be better. And for some reason, would you trade Kimba, or would you try to keep him and try to fit him? And the second thing to that, what your thoughts about? I think in the beginning I heard they was trying to get John Wall, which I wouldn't. And the third thing is, what do you think about the third thing? And I'm gonna get out of here. What do you think about Randall? Do you think they should trade him or not? Because I heard that he denied that he didn't want to be traded at all.
Yeah,
what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, he denied it. But I don't. Yeah. I don't have a determination on whether or not they should trade him or not. You know what I mean? To me, it's going to depend on what it is they really want to do. You know what I mean? Do they want to break down and try to go young? Can they talk with Randall? How about this? I think that they should sit down with Julius Randle and have a serious discussion, right? And I've said this before, have a serious discussion. Can you get your attitude together? That's the big thing for me. You know what I mean? Listen, your play is going to be up and down. Sometimes you're going to have good years. You're going to have bad years. I do think he'll bounce back. You know, this is the worst shooting percentage of his career. I think he'll bounce back. You know, but the attitude, hold on. But the attitude is the issue for me. So they've got to sit down and have a conversation. If they can't figure out how to work it out, then you got to move them.
I mean, but here's the thing, though. You think so people say that them adding Kimber was part of the problems why Randall wasn't playing good, which I don't know about that. And thirdly, what you think about? Well, I don't know, Tibbs. He's not going anywhere. About would you fire the coach? Because to tell you the truth, I don't think it's the coach's fault, because due to the fact that the way the team was playing is due to injuries, due to remember in the beginning players was injured,
right?
COVID protocols, there's a whole bunch of things that went on along with that. Now, if the team was healthy, I'm pretty sure, and Kimber was gelling with the team, I'm pretty sure that this team would have probably been better. Which I think you can agree on that. But here's the thing: if you New York, would you acquire John Wall or not?
Personally, I wouldn't. I wouldn't acquire John Wall.
Exactly.
Right. I wouldn't acquire John Wall. Right. Secondly, as far as Kemba being the reason that Julius Randle played bad, I disagree with that 100%. I don't think it's all Julius Randle. You know what I mean? As far as the reason why he wasn't shooting well and whatever, it's all on Julius Randle. You got to figure out how to fix that going into next season. And then as far as, the season, I mean, there was so many things going on with the season. There's a lot. There's a lot of stuff to go around, a lot of blame to go around with this basketball season. Obviously, health and safety protocol, injuries, all of that kind of stuff play a big part in this season. Derrick Rose is going to end up missing, 40, more than half the season. That's a big loss by itself. You know what I mean? So, no, I would not fire Tom Thibodeau. I'm not firing Tom Thibodeau. Now, after next season, and you don't see the team progressing, now, for me, you bring, that's when the discussion starts. And, after next season, if we see this same type of thing, barring something crazy happens, like RJ goes down for the season, right? Barring something crazy that happens, if, the team, just doesn't click right, things ain't happening, then you might have to look and say, all right, we need, as a matter of fact, not just Tom Thibodeau, but an entire reboot. You know what I mean? Because next season, it's all set up for next season to see how next season goes. Because like I said, at the end of next season, the Knicks right now is currently, as the salary cap is right now, have $40 million on the books. That's it. So everything is leading up to next season. If next season doesn't go well, then I think this team breaks down. New coach, new players. They keep a few key pieces. RJ Barrett and some of the young guys probably. But if it doesn't go well next season, they break it down and start.
You got to look at it like this. Randall is not a third option. You understand? Excuse me. That's a third option. He's not a first option. He's not built to lead a team. You understand? Now, we all can agree on that. Mm-hmm. And secondly, what players are you really going to get out there, really, that can help that dude Randall out? To me, I would say the closest one that you really have is D Rose, but can he stay healthy? And you got to monitor his minutes. Right. And also, another thing is with Kimber, right? I feel like I think he came back when we got him. He came back from a knee injury.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Okay, so that probably that also, I forgot, that also played a big role on why he didn't play well. Because if Kimber wasn't injury prone and we got him, I think this team would have been better. And if this team was healthy as well. Can we agree?
If Kemba was playing like a healthy Kemba, or a Kemba that wasn't maybe over kind of done, then yeah. But I don't think you're going to get that from Kemba anymore, right? And I don't think Kemba's coming back. I think the Knicks are moving on from Kemba, and Kemba's moving on
Who are
from
you
the
going
Knicks.
to get him, though? That's the question. Who are you going to trade to get him? Because obviously there's no other point guards out there that we can really get rid of.
Well, I
mean,
think it's going to
they
be.
want Dame, but what you going to get Dame?
I don't. I think it's going to be part of a probably a bigger package, right? You're talking about, like, someone like a Jalen Brunson, Malcolm Brogdon kind of guy that's out there. The Indiana Pacers are going to move on from Malcolm Brogdon. It's possible that Jalen Brunson is, going to sign away from Dallas. You know what I mean? And if, say, Jalen Brunson did say, I wanted to sign with the Knicks may not have money to sign him, but Dallas can sign him and then trade him to the Knicks. And then that's when you start seeing those veterans that they signed to those 1 year, those 2 year contracts that expire at the end of next season, the Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel and Kemba Walker and all of those guys. That's when the Knicks can cash in those chips. You know what I'm saying? And package a couple of those guys, maybe draft pick or whatever, so that they can get Jalen Brunson to New York.
Because if you really look at it, the way our team is constructed, I mean, due to injuries, I tell people this: we could really, if next season, if we really click and we really come back healthy, and I feel like we could be better than Brooklyn, to be realistic. And then one last thing, and I'm gonna go, is I feel like with what's his name? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, hello, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm waiting for you to remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
The third one.
Yeah.
I know the first one. I think we could be, if we healthy and we clicking, I think we could be better record-wise than Brooklyn. And
I don't know. That's a tough one, bro. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I mean, you're talking about Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons over there.
I mean, remember, injury prone.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But
so.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. But, hey, my man, I appreciate you. All right, because I got to, I'm going to get up this Tom Thibodeau interview. All right?
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
All right.
And, yeah, be peaceful, bro. Yeah, I don't know about being better than Brooklyn unless something serious happens.
As much as I hate Brooklyn, I can't agree with that either. I'm totally
something serious got it. I know them dudes over there, injury prone and stuff like that, but
I will say,
even with all their injuries this season, they still got a better record than us.
Absolutely. But I will say this. Next year, if it doesn't go for them, which means when I say when it doesn't go, I expect them to win it all with the personnel that they have.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Along with Ben Simmons. If it doesn't go, they're going to be sellers.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
Let's see. This is Tom Thibodeau, ladies and gentlemen. That's today's
questions.
Immanuel got his first ever triple-double. He was hunting with rebounds at the end, fighting Mitchell for them, but just kind of what you saw from his performance.
Yeah, no, I thought he gave us a great lift, and which to me it was more how he got the ball moving for us. I think we had 29 assists, and he made a lot of good plays. His shot sets things up, but I thought he made a conscious effort to get the ball moving side to side, and I thought that was the biggest thing. And anytime you get that guard rebounding like that, that allows you to get out into the open floor and run. So I want him to continue to do that. And just the all-around play, I thought a number of guys, I thought what Mitch did, gave us great effort. The block shots, the steals, the rebounding, just the all-around play. And they spread you out with, Bamba, the way he can shoot. And a guy like Ross comes in and, we've seen how explosive he could be, so that puts an enormous pressure on you. And they're very good moving the ball side to side, getting downhill, and so that was a good test for us.
RJ and Mitchell both were off their games yesterday. Do you feel that they came in today to try to rectify that?
Well, we didn't play our best as a team, and we talked about that today, and it really. Since the All-Star break, this team has played very well, and so that was the first game. We were disappointed with the way we played, So, and that being said, it's still, like, there were things that we did in that game, we still could have won that game, but we didn't set the tone of that game the right way. And I thought we bounced back well today. And then, the challenge is to keep getting better every day.
When you talk about setting the tone, I know you talked earlier about mixing lineups and stuff, and experience, seeing guys in different roles, but is that what you want to see, whatever the role is?
Yeah, just, like, and it's a lot of things. There's always something you could be working on. And it's not about, like everyone thinks, oh, give this guy minutes, give that. No, it's not about that. It's about making the team function well. So when you're out there, can you execute? So if someone's running a stack pick and roll, does everyone understand all the details of that play and who's responsible for what? And that's what I want to see. I want to see, do you understand what your job is? Because to guard players in this league, everyone has to be tied together. So it's not one-on-one. It's not like you against somebody else. It's the team. And then you have star players that are going to command two being on them. And then do you understand your responsibilities? So if we have one guy that doesn't do their job, you could give up a layup or a wide open three. And sometimes you can do it perfectly and they still can make. So can you execute a play? Coming out of the timeout, can you remember all the details of the play? And then do you understand what the counters are? So that's what I'm looking for. And so when you get into games that are intense and that are tight, can you execute? So we got a lot of young guys that are getting better every day. So the older guys, the same thing with them. They're being challenged in a different way. So, and Obi gave us really good minutes today too. So we had a number of guys. It was good to get Quentin and Deuce back out there. I thought yesterday Arch gave us. He was the one guy that played really hard and played really well.
That's good. Does it still amaze you when all the New York fans behind your bench?
In spite of you being here, yes.
No, but
They thought you weren't going to be here today. No, it's great, and that's the special thing about the Knicks. There's fans all over the country, particularly here in Florida. Whether it's Miami, Orlando, you go to Atlanta, same thing, and it's special when you have that type of following. So I think it's important for our players. It's great for our organization, and we want to give them something to be proud of.
All right. Cornerstone, any thoughts on Tom Thibodeau?
I still want him gone. That would be the old me, but after hearing him, he made some really key points. So that one thing that I gotta give him credit for, it was how he explained about the defensive philosophies, pretty much. I don't remember everything that he was talking about it, but it made a lot of sense. So again, I'm on board now with him staying, another year.
Yeah, well,
And,
you might as well get used to it because it's
right.
that bad.
Well, yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I mean, I've been on record saying I want him gone. I want him gone. I want him gone. But I liked what he had to say.
Defense is a complex thing, man, and it takes a lot of communication. It takes being on the same page. It takes being on a string, making the right adjustments when the offense adjusts and all that kind of stuff. It's very, it's difficult to play defense in the NBA. I still, and I'm going to remain on record in saying I think he needs to expand his defensive repertoire, expand that tool belt. You know what I mean? We can't just stay.
Can you give me an example of that?
Yeah, man. I've been talking about it all season long. We cannot just strictly play man-to-man defense. I think in today's NBA, you got to throw some zone in there. You got to throw something out there to make the offense think and figure out what you're doing defensively. You know what I mean? So you got to do some different things. Straight up man-to-man defense is too hard.
Right.
Most of the guards in the NBA, if you play them one-on-one, I don't care. You can take the best defender in the NBA, the best defender, and if they go straight up one-on-one without any other teammates on the floor, that person can score. right? Because first of all, the defense has to react to the offense,
Right.
right? And it's just hard to stop guys in the NBA. It is hard. Most guys obviously there's some guys that aren't good offensively, right, for the NBA standards. But most guys, your average players and your average defender, go off against each other, that guy's going to be able to score 65 to 70% of the time against the defender, right?
Yeah, but let me ask you this: if you're talking about, he's got to mix it up, you got to throw some zone in there. If we're playing a team like Miami, who's out of that, they're starting 5, probably 3 or 4 out of the 5 can hit the 3. How does that zone help?
Because every zone, when you play a 2-3 zone, right, you might give up some threes. But if you play different types of zones, some zones still defend the 3-point line. You could play a matchup 2-3 where when somebody is in your zone and in your area, you're matched up to them like they're man-to-man. So it's very similar to a man-to-man, except it's a 2-3.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So there are ways to still play a zone and not give up the 3 and still defend the 3. It just takes your team hustling, busting your butt to get to the rotation, etc. When you play a zone, it doesn't mean that you're trapping off of the zone. You still got 5 guys on the court just like they got 5 guys on the court.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But what happens is, the thing is, you don't play the zone. You don't play the zone the entire game. When Miami plays us, they don't stay in a zone the entire game. 5, 6 possessions, they go into a zone, then they go back into man. And then maybe they go back into another zone, right? Out of a timeout, they come into another type of defense. Maybe they do some full court pressure. Like all of these things causes your offense to think on the court and have to figure out what they're doing. So it's like, you might be in a zone for 3 possessions. Tom Thibodeau calls a timeout, and then you come out and you're not in zone anymore. So they don't even get a chance to break the zone. They done figured out how to break the zone, but they don't get a chance to apply it because he changed up and switched up the defense. With the Knicks, we just rock with the same old defense. Every time we go on the floor, and maybe a couple double teams here and there, nothing crazy to figure out. The team figures it out, and then we don't have anything else to switch to once they figure that out. So that's one of my biggest criticisms is just more variation in the defense. One of my biggest criticisms, man. Jay Witt, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate you. But yeah, that's one of my biggest things, man. We got to switch up that defense and just have a variation in defense. So, Kev, I think I'm going to head out. Kind of tired.
Okay.
I've been running around all day long.
Yeah, man. I dig it. I can dig it.
You know what I mean? So since you said we'll see, I'm waiting to see if you are going to make it down for the game Friday the 8th, 7:30. Tickets are, good price. Good price. I mean, you can get 100 level seats for like $150. You can get floor seats if you want for $600. I know you got it like that. You got it. You got it.
Really?
$600
Really?
for floor seats.
After everything we've talked about, you think I really have it like that?
$600 for floor seats, bro. $600. It's not bad. It's not bad. $600 for floor seats. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. I appreciate your time. I'll see you sometime tomorrow. Let's do a shoot around sometime tomorrow. All right.
What's the next game?
I think the next game is Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Or something. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm out of here, man. Any last words, Kev?
No, great. Great show as usual. Salute to the chat again. I thought you were going to be lenient on me, but I see that wasn't the case. But it's all good.
I'm tough like Thibodeau, man.
Yeah, tough like Thibodeau. But yeah, let's try and win these. Get some progress out of these next games before the season ends, and so we can go out into the sunset.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, out of here. Peace.
All right. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.